How European Union (EU) formed. After the Second World War, World War II, in 1945, Europe was destroyed. The United Nations founding charter was signed in San Francisco that year. Many people believed that a more united Europe could be envisioned, and started to work on the first pro-European movement as a new model for peace in the region. The concept of European unity was a barricade against the return of World War II nationalism. The idea was finally achieved, and in 1949, the Council of Europe was founded in London by 10 countries at the first Pan-European Assembly promoting democracy and human rights. By that time, Europe was heavily affected by the Cold War, a long period of international tension, 1945 to 1991, between the Western Bloc, with the leadership of the United States of America, and the Eastern Bloc, headed by the Soviet Union. The two superpowers had completely different political and economic approaches, capitalist democracy versus communism, dividing Europe in two areas of influence. Military alliances were formed: NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, for the West, and the Warsaw Pact, Warsaw Treaty Organization, for the East. France and Germany pushed to establish an economic alliance, and in 1951 the European Coal and Steel Community was created in Paris by France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Driven by this attainment, the 6 countries decided to extend the economic deal to other economic sectors, and in 1957 the Treaty of Rome was signed, creating the European Economic Community (EEC). It was also in 1957 that the Euratom Treaty was established by the European Atomic Energy Community. The initial purpose of the treaty was to create a specialist market for nuclear power in Europe. The foundation of Europe was set. The Common European Project was also open to other countries in order to build peace and prosperity in Europe. In the 1970s, Denmark, Ireland, and the United Kingdom joined the Common Project. In the 1980s, the European Economic Community (EEC) opened its doors to the emerging democracies of Southern Europe, Greece in 1981 and Spain and Portugal in 1986. This enlargement of the EEC triggered political stability and economic development in Europe's Mediterranean region. New policies to face regional inequalities were also created. Finally, in 1992, the European Union (EU) was shaped, treaty signed in Maastricht, launching the single internal market. The second big enlargement period of the EU was during the 90s and early 2000s. In 1995, Austria, Finland, and Sweden joined the EU, and then in 2004 the countries of Central and Eastern Europe, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Slovakia, and Slovenia, plus Malta and Cyprus, as a result of profound social and economic reforms performed. Rules were also set in 2001 Treaty of Nice for those countries, like Turkey, that wanted to join the EU. In December 2007, after the entrance of Bulgaria and Romania, the Treaty of Lisbon was accepted by all member states (MS), and entered into force on December 1, 2009, after national ratification processes in the 27 member states being held. In 2013, the last country in joining the EU until today was Croatia, adding up to 28 MS. However, the EU went back to involve only 27 MS after Brexit, the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the EU and the European Atomic Energy Community at the end of January 31, 2020, and its transition period that lasted until December 31, 2020. However, more than 50 years after its first steps, the EU is a unique global example of real integration of different states, a reality that includes 450 million people living in 27 countries. This dynamic integration has involved the establishment of supranational EU structures and the alignment of a wide array of policies among MS, economics, agriculture, energy, monetary, foreign policy and defense, and also in science, technology, and innovation. European integration in a time of global challenges requires adaptation of the EU and consolidation of this endeavor for prosperity and peace. The timeline of EU formation. 1945 to 59. Peace in Europe and the beginnings of cooperation, the foundation. Post-war cooperation in Europe led to the creation of the European Coal and Steel Community, the signing of the Treaties of Rome, and the birth of the European Parliament. The organization, founded in 1957, which is now known as the European Union, originally had 6 members: Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. 1960 to 69. The swinging 60s, a period of economic growth. European Union developed through the 1960s, with further economic integration in Europe and the beginnings of international cooperation. 1970 to 79. A growing community, first enlargement, Denmark, Ireland, and the United Kingdom joins EU. January 1, 1973, Denmark, Ireland, and the United Kingdom join the European Union, raising the number of member states to 9. A regional policy to boost poorer areas. 1980 to 89. The changing face of Europe, the collapse of communism, Greece joins the EU. In the 1980s, more countries joined with European Union, the Erasmus program, and the start of the single market. Membership of the EU reaches double figures when Greece joins. Later, on January 1 of 1986, Spain and Portugal become members of EU. 1990 to 99. A Europe without frontiers, the fourth enlargement. In 1990s, European Union developed with more expansion and the launch of the single market, border-free travel, and the euro. On January 1 of 1995, Austria, Finland, and Sweden joined the EU. The 15 members now cover almost the whole of Western Europe. 2000 to 2009. Further expansion. Largest enlargement so far. From 2000 to 2009, other 12 new countries joined with European Union, the euro becoming legal tender, and the signing of the Lisbon Treaty. May 1, 2004, Czech Republic, Estonia, Cyprus, Latvia, Lithuania, Hungary, Malta, Poland, Slovakia, and Slovenia joined the EU. This was the largest single enlargement in terms of people and number of countries. Later in 2007, 2 more countries from Eastern Europe, Bulgaria and Romania, joined the EU, bringing the number of member states to 27 countries. 2010 to 19, a challenging decade. Romania and Bulgaria join. From 2010 to 2019, responding to the financial crisis, Croatia joining the EU, and the UK voting to leave. July 1, 2013, after Slovenia, Croatia is the second country from ex-Yugoslavia to join the EU. The European perspective remains open to the entire Western Balkans region. January 31, 2020, the United Kingdom's withdrawal from the European Union. 2020 today. A united and resilient EU. How the European Union has developed since 2020, responding to unprecedented challenges such as the COVID-19 pandemic, Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine, and fighting climate change.